Good morning, evening, afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the main stand, episode 38. We have a lot to talk about today, and instead of starting off with the normal housekeeping stuff, um, I am going to stand on trial and defend the honor of my bottle job of a football club for like 15 minutes. Then I'll let Josh and Mitch say what they have to say. If you're a first time listener on episode 38, I love Manchester City and I will continue to love Manchester City. Um, yesterday hurt. Yesterday hurt a lot. Uh, I still believe that over the course of 179 minutes, City were the better side in that tie, which is what makes it hurt even more. Um, Initial takeaways are Kyle Walker is quite clearly our best and most important defender. Um, Aymeric Laporte just is not as good as John Stones. Ruben Diaz inherited every City defender's bozo gene in the Champions League. Um, and Bernardo Silva was denied second man of the match because I felt he was brilliant. Hats off to Real Madrid to mount a comeback like that is it's unbelievable. You can only tip your hat to them. I think the thing that really separates a team like Madrid from a team like City is they are fucking killers. They're killers, man. Uh, City need five chances to score a goal, and Real Madrid need one. And the aura that surrounds that club. When they scored their first goal, I knew we were not going through. I did not care that we were up two on aggregate. The minute Real Madrid scored, I knew it was happening. I could. There was blood in the water, and they were at home, and we were rattled. I don't know if it was obvious to you guys, but they scored. We kicked it straight back to Ederson and then gave it right back to them. And that was enough for me to know that the game was over. Um, there was no shot that City were going to win that game after they scored that first goal. Um, just hurt, man. Sometimes I saw a tweet that I'm gonna re-say here because it feels very apt for the moment. Sometimes you 93-20, and other times you are on the receiving end of 93-20. For those of you who don't know, it's the time City scored their winner for the first goal or first Premier League title back in 2012. Um, Shit hurt. I'm like kind of numb to it. It didn't hurt as bad as the Lyon loss, and it didn't hurt as bad as the Tottenham loss because Tottenham was ripped away from us, and Madrid just shell shocked us. And outside of that, I've said I initially need to say you guys have the floor for a little bit. I'll answer anything that you feel me needing to answer, but you guys have things to say too. I know.
Well, I want to say first, I appreciate Pat doing this because losing in a Champions League semifinal does suck. Um, Losing in a Champions League final sucks. And for you to,
Yeah,
come on and actually, it is an emotional reaction when your team loses that deep in a tournament in a competition you want to win more than anything. So I appreciate that. With that being said, I think the feeling bad for Pat time is over. It's time to
I didn't
rock and
expect
roll, Mitch.
I didn't expect to get that. So let's hear it, fellas. Hit
No,
me.
I'm kidding. I think you hit the nail on pretty much every single head with the Kyle Walker stuff. I thought Kyle Walker was immense on the night. I think a lot of it had to do with kind of this overall setup of this Real Madrid team, of the mix of youth and old. I thought the subs Ancelotti brought on, Camavinga and Rodrigo, really made the difference.
Camavinga was immense.
Yeah, they made the difference in that game. And they're a different Real Madrid side. And it is a bottle job by City at the end of the day, but it's like at the Bernabeu, you could just kind of feel it happening. And it's just one of those things. The best saying is sometimes these things happen in football. And last night, was one of those times where some things just happen in football, and you were on the bad end of that.
Yeah, I mean, it just happens, man. I don't know what else to say other than it happens.
I think the biggest point I agree with you on is just how different the game felt after that first goal, and even just before, leading up to the goal, the couple minutes beforehand, it felt like Real Madrid was starting to test City and what they could do to get forward faster. And they flipped that switch as soon as Fernandinho came on for, what was it, Mahrez.
Mm-hmm.
The thought popped in my head, okay, now City's in a very defensive situation. They're looking to hold this 2-goal lead, and I was getting ready to draft my "See you in Paris" text to you. In all honesty,
shut the fuck up.
No,
I'm so mad you just said that.
But it wasn't something I had expected to happen. I was stunned when the first goal went in. A minute later, it happens again, and then just an absolute dumb challenge from Diaz.
Horrible.
It was you can't, as the defender everybody kind of looks to in that line. You can't be making a challenge in that situation like that, and it just ended up taking all of the wind out of your sails.
You show him to the byline there. I could not believe he made that challenge, man. It was
reckless. And I knew you would be frustrated by it. I knew I could understand the feelings you were probably feeling. It sucks, but at the same time, as a Liverpool fan looking at the situation unfold, I'm thinking of, okay, we got another shot at Madrid now. We have that kind of redemption tour vibe, especially with the team that we've been able to build since then. It's going to be an unbelievable final. I think it's going to be a very, very fast-paced final.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it.
Before we get too much in the final, just to kind of lead on to what Mitch was saying, I had an actual tweet drafted as well, saying, I'm hammering the Liverpool money line for the UCL final versus City. We're going to travel so much better than them. Paris will be a sea of red. Europe is our backdrop. We are European royalty. We're going to lift number 7 against the citizens.
Too bad that's not possible when we get, 19,000 seats?
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's that's a shambolic decision from UEFA. Whoever does that, that's awful. But
we get 19,000 fucking seats at the Champions League final.
Crazy. The only other thing I had about the City game, it sucks that you were that close as well, Pat, on the Grealish chance. You were right there on the doorstep.
Man, inches. If that deflects off Courtois' foot at a different angle, it hits Foden in the shin and it goes in. To talk about Grealish, he was good.
I thought he came on and was positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't understand any of the hate for him in his little cameo he made at the end there. He was... a brilliant save from Courtois on his second attempt was the difference between us going through and us not.
Yep.
I thought Courtois was immense last night too. I thought he was incredible in net for Real Madrid.
What do you think about Pep bringing De Bruyne off?
That was smart. He was terrible. He was not playing well at all. And came on and immediately played the ball to Bernardo for our goal. So I think it was smart. I don't think that this was a case of Pep overthinking. Okay. That capitulation is on the players. I think every decision Pep made a ton of sense if you're thinking about it in like game management terms. Why would you not bring on your veteran defensive midfielder, club captain Fernandinho to close out the last 6 minutes of a game? Like, that substitution made sense. You don't expect Real Madrid to score 2 goals in 5 minutes and bring it to extra time. You just don't. You expect to see the game out. You don't expect Cancelo to hold every single Madrid player on side for their second goal. You just don't expect that. I don't know.
That's fair, and I'm not trying to press that point, but people are talking about it today.
Exactly, and that's why I felt the need to bring that up. Is that loss was not on Pep. This loss is on the players. That is 100%.
That leads into the next kind of question, talking point. If Pep's not the issue, and Pep hasn't won the Champions League since 2011, what is the hump to get over for Man City to win the Champions League? And that's honestly me asking, and I don't think the answer is just a striker. What is keeping them from doing this and really getting over the line? Because it seems like a mental thing a little bit with these late losses.
I think that's one of the big reasons is ultimately it is a mental thing, and it sounds so crazy to say this, so bear with me while I add some context as I talk through my thoughts on this. I've never expected to win the Champions League under Guardiola, just point blank. If you've talked to me, you know that I've been like, I don't know if Pep is the guy to bring us there. I think he's a brilliant manager, and I think we're blessed to have someone like him leading this club. And if we never win a Champions League under Pep and we get 10, if we get a decade of an incredible football under Pep and amazing performances in the league, I will take that in a fucking heartbeat. I think Pep is arguably the best manager of all time, and I love the fact that he's at our club. But the Champions League is just such a different tournament. It's just such a different competition to so many things. It's not something that any one little thing a team can win. You need the perfect storm to win a Champions League. You need the perfect storm to win your first Champions League too. You think about how long it's taken some clubs to win it. City have been in the Champions League 9 years. We've only been in this tournament less than a decade. City have been playing in this tournament. It's not like it's been like, this isn't me poking fun at Liverpool, but it's not like that 30-year Premier League era title gap for Liverpool. You know what I mean? It's not like we've been doing it for decades on decades and just can't get there. We're young in the competition, and when you look at a club like Real Madrid or a club like Liverpool too, that have been there time and time and time again, and they have a real storied history in the competition. This final is the two clubs that have won the competition the most. There is a bit of an aura around these clubs on these European nights, and I don't think it's something that just you flip a switch and it happens. So much needs to be going right for a club to win it. And you look at Chelsea too, there's 10 years between their first and their second. It took Sir Alex Ferguson 17 years to win a Champions League at Man United, a guy widely regarded as the best manager of all time. It took him 17 years to win with Man United in a far less competitive era of football too. It's just, there's so much that goes into winning it. And I think until City get more experience in the competition, and I think what Guardiola is doing and what's being put in place right now will get there. And do I think we're capable of winning a Champions League under Guardiola in the next 3-4 years? Absolutely, I do. And I think going, from this quarterfinals curse to us being 6 minutes away from back-to-back finals is a step in the right direction. And I just think a lot needs to happen for a club to win a Champions League. And I just don't think City as a club, as a whole, are really quite there just yet. And I hope that made sense without me being too long-winded with it.
No, that was a great response. I think you hit on a lot of different points there. Maybe Man City needed to turn to the only player in their squad who has won the Champions League a little bit more. Do you know who that player is, Pat? Little trivia for you. I found this out an hour ago, so this isn't like obvious news.
I'm thinking. Is he in the first team?
No.
Who?
Scott Carson won it with Liverpool in 05.
No shit. I fucking didn't. That's funny. I didn't know that.
I just found that out an hour ago. I honestly didn't know that either. I thought it was pretty funny, though. I wanted to share it with the group.
Did he get enough appearances for a winner's medal?
He played the quarterfinal against Juventus. He started.
So he's got a winner's medal. No shit.
He must, yeah.
Fuck, he should have started. Maybe he would have made a save.
Funny. They actually had, it was a video of, they asked Raheem Sterling that, and he had no idea. He was like going through the squad and just had no idea who it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a funny competition, man. It's a funny competition. And regardless, I think it's set up a really good final. And 4 games left, and we can at least win the Prem.
Exactly. So, like, and we don't have to get into this too much because I think we'll talk about it a little bit later on. But like you said, 4 games left. I mean, that's a pretty heartbreaking defeat that I think takes some recovery time to adjust to. How do you think the players kick on? Because, and I back City in my pick, not to give like too much of a spoiler later. Do you think that like this will motivate them, or do you think it'll be more of a setback? Like, oh, like, yeah, we're gonna win the Premier League for the 3rd time in 4 years, but we just lost like the competition we wanted more than anything this year.
I think it's more of a motivating factor than it is anything. Look at the one that made me numb to all of this, the Spurs loss in the 2018-2019 season. We went on to win 14 in a row in the league to beat you guys to the title that season. So it feels like something similar to that. I think they'll be motivated to, let's win the Prem again. Like, let's do this one thing. You know what I mean? And if there's one thing that Guardiola teams are known for, it's at least winning the league. So I don't know. I don't think it should rock the squad too much because it's happened every single year that I've ever supported the club. But I don't see it being like too much of a hindrance.
Yep.
Kind of playing devil's advocate. Could they start to get bitter after 3 times of this song and dance?
I don't think so. I mean, you look at how much it meant to City last year after we beat PSG in that semifinal to get to our first final. I just think it's going to be more motivation to like want to do better in the tournament and kick on. Like the squad is past that like quarterfinals curse that was around us for like 3 years in a row. So
we're on to the semis.
Yeah, it's a semi. There's a final in there, so you can't just call it a semifinals curse. No, I don't think there's going to be too much bitterness because it's not like. Yeah, I don't know. I think they want to win it, but I think the squad is hungry enough to where it'll motivate them more than anything to kick on and at least win the Prem and really go for it again next season.
I think City wins out in the Prem, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do too.
I hope so.
What I will say, I do think Man City are close. I do think at the start of every year, until City does prove everyone wrong, everyone is going to treat them like PSG, where they're a great side, they'll breeze through, probably get to the quarterfinal or semifinal every single year, but I don't think anyone is actually going to favor them to win the Champions League.
I'll agree wholeheartedly, which is why I hate when the bookies have us like this fucking overwhelming favorite to win it. It's like
stupid.
Who the fuck are you? Who have you been watching for the last decade? Are you fucking blind?
Exactly. Yes. It is. You were spot on earlier when you said like there is a heritage of the Liverpool, Bayern, AC Milan, Real Madrid kind of quartet of like the European royalty of this competition where they're just different. They've
won it like time and time again. It's not a tournament that you can just like show up to and win. And when you do, it's like so much has to be going right for you, and you need luck too. You need luck.
Yeah,
for sure. Win a Champions League, especially your first one, man. Like, again, I'm gonna look at Chelsea in 2012. that they should not have been there. And so much went right for them to get there. I mean, credit where it's due. They've won 2. They beat us in the final last year. I'm not diminishing their accomplishments at all, but you need a certain level of good fortune to get there.
Like Liverpool in 05, the ghost goal, and then you're coming back from 3-0 down against the best team of all time.
Right, exactly. So it's just like, what the fuck? Like, there's so much has to go right.
Yeah.